world-famous Yankee Stadium is about to be demolished. It's a monster job. Over 50,000 seats. Over 9,200 square meters of turf. And over 50,000 tons of concrete. But the stadium's surrounded by thousands of people and only meters away from an elevated subway. So they can't just blow it up. Yankee Stadium must come down piece by piece. There's no room for error. And the job starts now. It's called the Cathedral of Baseball, Yankee Stadium, home to the New York Yankees for over 80 years. But decades of use have taken their toll. And the stadium's too expensive to upgrade. So the Yankees built a new ballpark just across the street. And now, it's time to take the old stadium down. But it's no simple task. The stadium's located in New York City, in the bustling borough of the Bronx. Over 1 million people live here. Thousands more arrive daily on the subway, just meters away from the stadium. This structure's surrounded by people.
Don't let any more come down. Hold on. Yo! Yeah!
So this job must go down without mistakes.
Morning, everybody.
Morning.
3 lead contractors are tasked with the demo. LVI Services, Demco, and LJC Dismantling, all managed by Turner Construction. Together, they'll take down the stadium in 4 steps. Step 1, the sell-off. Remove and sell off thousands of pieces of memorabilia, including the famous seats and sod. Step 2, the cleanup. Clear the stadium of any hazardous materials. Step 3, the gut out. Remove anything that's not part of the structure, including the extraction of the iconic outfield frieze. And then the final stage, the breakdown. Rip, strip, and prep the stadium until it's reduced to a skeleton. And then pull it down. When they're done, there'll be nothing left. The teams can't wait to get started, but they're going to have to.
They should be on their way any minute.
Before they break Yankee Stadium down, they must salvage some of its history. Opened in 1923, the stadium was home to the New York Yankees for over 8 decades. Not to mention the host of 37 World Series championships.
They made baseball history. What a team.
But it was legendary player Babe Ruth that made the stadium famous, earning it the nickname, the house that Ruth built. The Yankees became the first team in baseball history to attract 1 million paying fans to their games. Today, generations of die-hard fans want a part of this storied stadium. So a memorabilia company will sell everything from the sod to the seats. First up for removal, the sacred sod, where baseball's greatest stars set foot. A 7.5 centimeter piece will sell for $100. That means the outfield alone could be worth millions of dollars. Not only is it valuable, it's also delicate. Heavy machinery would ruin the sod, so before the demo team moves in, the grass has got to go. For project manager Jim D'Elia, sod is a family affair.
This is not just Yankee sod, this is D'Elia sod as well. We put the sod in back in the 70s, and every time the field's been replaced since then, the Yankees always come to us. It's on that truck.
His grandfather started D'Elia Sod Farms in 1928.
Okay, yeah.
And today, the company grows grass for many stadiums in the area. But Jim's got no time for a trip down memory lane.
Try to leave a narrow slice, just like this one, okay? Good to go.
He's got some sod to remove. Over 9,200 square meters. They start in the outfield and work their way toward home plate. Jim's grandfather did this job by hand. But today, machines provide the muscle. Like an oversized steel spatula, a mechanical blade oscillates back and forth to cut and lift the sod. Then, about every 11 meters, another blade slices the sod into a strip that the team threads onto 1.3 meter spools. The machines can roll up to 2,000 square meters of sod an hour.
428, right? Yes. Okay, 428.
But removing the sod is only half of Jim's job. He's also got to track it.
Every roll that comes out, we identify it, give it a number so that we know exactly where each roll came from in Yankee Stadium.
The team will use the numbering system to reassemble the sod in their Long Island farm until it's ready to be sold to a fan.
The one you just cut is 455, and this one you're rolling now is 456. Right. I'll be with you in a second.
But speed is trumped by precision when they near home plate. They're ready to take out the famous Yankee emblem. It's valued at $50,000, so it must come out carefully.
The emblem is going to be very surgically removed, and it's going to be removed by the experts. And they're on their way in to take a look at it.
The expert? Jim's twin brother, Rick D'Elia. He's 5 minutes older than Jim, so the pecking order's clear.
I do whatever he tells me to do.
Go on the bottom of that, what, N over there, right? No, outside of the...
Say again?
It's just to the outer point there. If we go this way, it's got to be 3. It's got to be 24. So pull it out another foot. Go out 6 inches. Now you got to go out 2 feet. We only have one shot at doing this right. I don't want to rip it, tear it, or screw it up, so we're going to spend our time dilly-dallying with it.
His plan? Remove the emblem in 18 pieces.
We'll end up cutting it this way, not this way. There's going to be some
But the math was the easy part. Now they have to cut and lift it.
To the Yankees, this is the most important part of the field. So to get it out in 18 pieces and not destroy it, so we can transplant it and then relift it and take it to the lucky customer. That's the challenge.
The solution? A combo of plywood and manpower. 3 hours later, the last piece of the legendary logo is history. Ready for shipment to a secret location. With the sod gone, the demo team can finally move their machinery in for the next task. Seat removal. Demco's assistant superintendent, Chris Dolan, knows the seats have to come out fast for the demo to stay on schedule.
We have 54,000 seats that need to be extracted from the stadium in 2 weeks to do it. A daunting task, yes.
Fans have watched some of the most legendary games of all time from these seats. So they'll sell for $800 a piece and $1,500 a pair. So getting the seats out is only half the battle for Chris. He also needs to keep them safe.
An English agent who went missing.
I'm here to discover his fate.
One must have secrets, don't you agree?
We can help each other.
Soon, the peace will be broken.
Same day as the U.S. Bark Skins on National Geographic.
Throughout history, humankind has come together to prevail in our darkest moments. This is a moment for pretty much the opposite. For hiding, laying low, saving humankind by really not getting near it. Every generation has its moment where individual sacrifice makes way for the good of those who will come after. This one is ours.
Here we go.
Classic.
So good.
Oh, good stuff.
Incredible.
Absolutely stunning. Electrifying the crowd.
Oh, she read it.
And that's it.
What a treat this has been.
Grand Slam Classics. Every night, 10 p.m. on Fox Sports 2.
This June on National Geographic Network. Gordon Ramsay is back to unearth world cultures through food and adventure.
Oh, my God.
Be amazed by the sophisticated tactics these apex predators developed to rule the ocean. Ex-MasterChef judge Gary Megan visits 12 families in India to uncover their culinary secrets. All new this June on National Geographic Network.
So suddenly, I had that concrete right in my face. The one thought was, this could be it. I could die.
911. We have a major injury accident.
Whatever you do, just don't give up.
Baseball season started. And on game days, thousands of fans arrive across the street. They'd love to get their hands on a famous blue seat, so security's increased. Outside and inside.
Okay, the time is now 1:13. This is a tagged security lock. Once this locks in, there is no way to get this off.
Chris gives each shipment of seats a unique security code that only the receiving site has access to.
It's more than top secret. It's national security, if you ask me. DEFCON 5.
The team's already completed the field seats, so they start on the next level. But they're bolted to the concrete stadium and to each other. If they rush, they might break or damage them and ruin their value. So the team must balance speed with precision. The job doesn't get any easier the higher the crew goes. On the top tier, the crew works at nearly 10 stories in the air. So every worker must be tied off to prevent a fall.
No more than 2 guys right here, okay? And make sure you're tied off at all times. Use your retractable. If you need a retractable, get a retractable. All right?
Two weeks later, the team meets their deadline. The seats are gone. Now the stadium demolition can begin. But before they break it down, they need to clean it up.
We pump them, he busts them, we move on to the next one. It's pretty much it.
After months of disuse, the house that Ruth built has seen better days. Especially the restrooms. The toilets are full of human waste, and it's Edward Stead's job to pump them out.
Yeah. I don't know how many there are. There must be about 800 of them or something. Starting on the top, and we go in and vacuum them all out. So the guy can come along with the hammer and he busts them up.
He's with a company called A Royal Flush, and his workload is always full.
We stay busy all the time. Everybody has to go to the bathroom.
But in reality, it's a serious job. The waste is hazardous, so the team will transport it to a nearby treatment plant. 2 stories above, in an area of the stadium that was off limits to the public, the LVI Services team is primed to take on an even bigger challenge: asbestos removal.
How many guys need? 4 people?
Section by section, they quarantine the area and get to work. The asbestos is in the bottom layer of the roofing material, so they use a mechanical saw to cut it out. They keep any debris down with a steady spray of foam. Piece by piece, they lift the asbestos-infused roofing free. Then they double bag the asbestos material. But the team's job still isn't over. Now they must get it to the street level, nearly 10 stories below, for transport to a state-approved landfill. They've built a hoist to lower the bags. But the electricity to the stadium was cut before the demo began, so the hoist doesn't have power. It's time to call in the electricians.
Ricky Tavella.
Joe Napolitano.
Albert Botari.
Local 3.
Better known as Local Union 3.
Born and bred.
Born and bred New York City. Die-hard Yankee fans to the 9th power.
56.
Ricky's not sure he's ready to work yet.
Holy cow! I'm getting a little emotional right now. I can't believe they're bringing down this stadium. It's getting a little sensitive. The chills are still going.
They need a 220 line to feed the hoist.
220 volt line.
But duty calls. They need to connect the hoist, but they can't run a live power cable through an active demo site. So Ricky and Joe head underground to cable it up. Electricians are key to this entire operation. Without them, the demo team would have no power on site.
There is no longer any permanent power in this building anymore. It's all on temporary power.
They must locate a tunnel just under the hoist to pass the wire.
You don't want to wake the spirits.
I'm in the wrong room. We're in the wrong room.
He's in the wrong room, okay.
One more room down. I get lost myself.
What is that?
Believe it or not,
Did you hear that?
It's easy to get lost, and for a Yankee fan's mind to wander.
You hear that, Joe? I think we're waking them. Don't worry about it, babe. We didn't forget about you. We still love you, big guy.
Finally, they find the tunnel.
It's not a clean job.
No, it's not.
You know, people look at electricians as just putting outlets and switches in a house. This is what we got to go through on a daily basis.
Keep going.
Albert's above them with the cable.
Albie, give me a call when you're ready for me to pull it.
Brad, I'm taking it.
10-4.
So smaller the wire, correct? Yeah.
Ricky strings the cable closer to the hoist.
Joey, where are you?
I'm right here.
Okay, I'm gonna go above this pipe.
Okay, however you want to run it.
They catch up on Yankee stats while they move closer to the hoist.
Nothing like being in New York, let me tell you.
tell you, this guy just broke 2 records this week. Where they getting this stuff from?
Well, you gotta understand, they've been great since 1923.
Okay, Rick?
In fact, the Yankees were the first team in history to win the World Series the same year their new stadium opened.
And they may do it this year with the new stadium. That would be classic if they win the World Series.
They're gonna win it this year. Who's gonna beat them? Nobody's gonna beat them. Nobody can beat this team.
They're ready for Albert to push through the cable.
Push, Albie!
Here we go, Rick. All right.
Start walking?
I'm gonna start walking. Joey, that's it, kid.
That's it, Albie!
That's it. It's complete. Let's get out. Let's go get some coffee.
The electrician's job's finished.
Get it done.
They've safely powered the hoist. And the cleanup's nearly complete. But the stadium's not ready for a breakdown yet. Now, the demo crew must clear out anything that's not part of the structure, including gutting the famous Yankee clubhouse. The breakdown in the Bronx is heating up. The team's finished the cleanup, so now it's time for the gut out. First up for removal, one of the stadium's kitchens.
I'd say there's about 20 big restaurants, about like another 30 small concession stands.
Jimmy, come over here.
Like this.
One by one, they clear out the equipment. Yet another team moves in to strip out wood and drywall. On the agenda today, the Yankees clubhouse. But luckily, another team's already done most of the work. Months earlier, the LJC crew carefully salvages what was once the Yankees' inner sanctum, where legendary players put on their pinstripes.
Every locker is labeled. That's A-Rod's, you have Giambi's locker, Gardner's.
The most valuable section?
This was Jeter's locker. We removed it.
Team captain Derek Jeter's lockers.
This is Jeter's second locker. Jeter actually had 2 lockers. Same page.
One locker for personal items, the other he used for mail and equipment.
Everything. You're going to take the wall out next? Right.
These prized pieces of history are expected to fetch over $100,000. So Dan Fine from Turner Construction is there to make sure every piece comes out with extreme care.
Common wall. Common wall. Got it. It's nail by nail, screw by screw, going slow to make sure we do not crack any of the pieces. The lockers are old, they're a little dry, so they're a little fragile.
The memorabilia may be gone, but that doesn't mean there's nothing left of value in the stadium. In fact, in the basement, there's thousands of dollars of copper. And it's Demco's labor foreman, David Slurf's job to pull it out.
Copper basically gives you all the power throughout the building.
Copper makes a great electrical conductor. Its global demand is high, and so is its value. It trades at several dollars a kilo.
Yo!
Kilometers of copper cabling run through the floor of the stadium.
Hang on.
The wires are all connected via a series of electrical rooms.
This is a power room. It's got a whole bunch of transformers in it.
They must cut each cable to disconnect it, so it can be sold and recycled.
I mean, obviously, the bigger the cable, the more money it's worth.
A piece this size is worth $48 a meter. But the thicker the cable, the harder it is to cut. They disconnect the last cable. And now, they can pull them out.
What side are you going to pull first?
We're pulling this way.
You're going to pull this way, so we're going to take.
Going down the hole.
We're going to take this cable first.
Right.
But these cables weigh thousands of kilos, so some hydraulic help's needed to pull them out.
Choke it right up to the front.
They're ready to reel in their catch.
It's like fishing for copper.
All right, just rock and roll here, gentlemen. Watch your hand, Louie. Yeah! Up, up. There we go, all of them. Nice, perfect. That's a lot of money right there coming out now. Now, this is what you want. This is the money. This is the money shot. This is a lot of money. This is what's gonna make the boss happy.
Demko's carefully calculated the amount of copper in the stadium. Its high value will help offset the cost of demolition. Weeks later, the crews almost finished the gut-out. There's just one thing left to do. Remove the famous frieze.
National Geographic is sending Gordon Ramsay
Seriously?
on a tasty adventure.
Let's go.
To connect with cultures around the world for food.
Oh my God.
Adding a dash of danger.
You can do it. You're a tough guy.
Humor.
Are you crazy?
And humility to taste.
Spicy?
Everything's numb.
Gordon's back on National Geographic, feasting through all new locations.
From a chef's point of view, truly inspiring.
Same day as the U.S., Gordon Ramsay Uncharted on National Geographic. Palaces, the most spectacular and lavish homes on Earth. Behind the golden gates of these royal megastructures are incredible stories of infamous monarchs from history.
It's an amazing moment of history when you think that Mozart would have met Marie Antoinette there.
And the artists and engineers who turned their grand visions into a reality.
One of the most dramatic cascades ever constructed.
World's Greatest Palaces, Wednesday nights at 9 on National Geographic.
I'm proud to announce the return of the Titan Games. I assembled an amazing group of people, all who happen to be incredible athletes with extraordinary stories. But here's a twist. They're not only going to compete against themselves. I went out and I brought in the best of the best, from the Olympics to the NFL. It's going to be intense, it's going to be inspiring, but most of all, it's going to be a lot of fun.
The new season of the Titan Games, 2-hour premiere, May 26th at 9 p.m. on Fox.
How is the door emergency?
It all happened so suddenly. I had that concrete right in my face. And one thought was, this could be it. I could die.
911. We have a major injury accident.
Whatever you do, just don't give up.
This June on National Geographic Network. Gordon Ramsay is back to unearth world cultures through food and adventure.
Oh my God.
Be amazed by the sophisticated tactics these apex predators developed to rule the ocean. Ex-MasterChef judge Gary Megan visits 12 families in India to uncover their culinary secrets. All new this June on National Geographic Network.
An English agent went missing.
I'm here to discover his fate.
One must have secrets, don't you agree?
We can help each other.
Soon, the peace will be broken.
Same day as the U.S. Bark Skins on National Geographic.
The Yankee Stadium frieze is a series of architectural arches. But they weren't always located in the outfield. Originally, the frieze ran around the roof of the grandstand's deck. In 1974, they renovated the stadium, and the new design could no longer support the frieze. So the architects relocated a new frieze behind the outfield seating. Their distinctive shadow on the field was part of Yankees history. But today, the pieces must come out. LJC President Mike Ragnow knows that this history is heavy.
Each of these pieces weighs about 9,000 pounds.
That's nearly 4,000 kilos. But weight is the least of his worries.
The number one challenge is the reduced amount of time that we can work over in this area because we have a subway station right behind us.
Hundreds of people board the subway platform every hour, and it's just meters away from the frieze.
The concern is that a piece that we're picking off with the crane would somehow go the wrong way.
To reduce that risk, the crew can only work during the non-rush hours of 10 to 3. And time's a-ticking. They rig up the first section of the frieze. It's made of concrete, so the team must saw the pieces loose and unbolt them. Now they can lift it free. The 45-meter crane strains under the weight. Finally, touchdown. Section by section, the team rigs and removes the rest of the frieze.
Give me a little more boom.
Booming down.
Boom down, hold low.
Just disconnect the shackle.
Now, they got to get all the pieces on the trucks. Like a puzzle, they have to make them all fit.
It's a heavy piece and we don't want to break it. We don't want to crack nothing. Use the chokers, move it over. We got the rig, that's why it's here.
You gotta go the same side. Which side you coming around from, this way or that way? You're gonna clear it.
Move down, hold the load.
Yeah, at least 8 inches. Clear. Coming down, Diego.
All right, how you looking on that end? You want to follow that corner, right?
Line up. Line. Over. Ready?
Yeah, Baba, coming down. Good.
You good?
How's that? You like that?
That one goes on the floor. How much you got? You don't have no overhang.
They've got some of the sections loaded, but there's a problem.
Trailer's stuck in the sand.
They're literally spinning their wheels. And the 3 o'clock cutoff hour is fast approaching. But on a demo site, there's always the right tool for any job. Even if it's not the usual one. Later, the last of the freeze sections leaves the stadium. Only the structure remains. Now, it's time to break it down. Yankee Stadium is about to be history. It's nearly 9 months into the Yankee Stadium breakdown, and the demo crews have removed over 9,200 square meters of turf, over 50,000 seats, and the iconic freeze. Now they're ready for the last stage, the breakdown. Yankee Stadium is a relatively simple construction of steel girders and concrete. But what it lacks in complexity, it makes up in scale. At 250 meters wide and over 12 stories high, the stadium packs 21,000 cubic meters of concrete and 3,600 tons of steel. The team must bring it all down without crashing into the nearby subway and its passengers. Imploding the stadium would be quick, but dangerous. So they'll systematically demolish it with mega machines instead. The demo plan? Use excavators to rip, strip, and prep the stadium until it's reduced to a skeleton. Then, section by section, pull it down and into the stadium, away from any surrounding people. But there's one catch. To keep people out of harm's way, the crew must prevent them from getting inside the stadium. And that job just got harder. The Yankees are in the World Series, and the game's happening right across the street. If a fan sneaked into the old stadium during demolition, they could be seriously injured. So it's Demco's Dave Slurf's job to make sure that this breakdown is more like a lockdown.
We really can't allow these people to sneak in. This is such an historical event that's happening right now. What's going on is you got finding kids that are sneaking under the fence or jumping over the fence, you know, and it's really a dangerous place for them to be in right now. Kenny Rudd, pick up, please.
He circles the stadium's perimeter to assess the situation.
Okay, sir, I need a guard at 161 gate, please. I got to open it up and get some barriers put back inside, please.
Roughly in at 157.
They rearrange the barriers to redirect pedestrian flow. Then lock down the stadium. Now the mega machines can roar into action. The Daewoo 480 pulverizer is the first to feast. Its nearly 3-ton attachment acts like an oversized meat tenderizer. The team uses a steady spray of water to keep the dust down. Bite by bite, it pulverizes the concrete with 350 kilos of pressure per square centimeter. It's joined by its taller brothers, the Hitachi 450 and EX400. Together, they take on the next tier level. Each machine's equipped with a claw-like shear attachment. Together, they can extend to heights up to 35 meters, making mincemeat out of everything within their reach, including the visitor's dugout. Mouthful by mouthful, they must remove more than 3,600 tons of steel. All the metal will be shipped out, cut up, melted down, and ultimately resold and reformed into new steel products. Weeks later, the first two tiers are gone. Only the top level remains. Now, it's time to take it down. The world-famous Yankee Stadium is about to be demolished. It's the final stage of the breakdown in the Bronx. They're ready to take down the house that Ruth built. The team wants to harness the power of the excavators to pull down the remaining top tier. The stadium is a near circle of 105 steel girder constructed bays. They hope they can topple up to 7 bays at a time with a method called cut and pull. First, they'll prep the top tier by cutting it into sections. Then create the cut by burning what's called a hinge cut in the supporting steel columns. The formation weakens the tier section until it's ready to be pulled. The pull is generated by connecting the column to an excavator via a cable, and then moving the machine in reverse, pulling the sections down with it. It's a carefully engineered plan designed for safety, but toppling each group of 12-story-high bays is like pulling down an entire building. Anyone caught in its wake would be killed. Thousands of people are on the opposite side of this structure, on the street and on the subway. So the team must make sure the plan is executed with precision. It's a job so big that Demco calls in their expert, Mike Healy. And today, like every day, his morning starts off with a safety meeting.
We are making a pull this morning, probably around lunchtime. Make sure you get your accountability tags and you sign in. All right? We work very safe out here, so nobody gets hurt. All right, let's do it.
Mike takes control of the site and the task ahead of him.
All right, make some of those B cuts from the man lift.
Yep, we're over here. Send them over.
You need to go all the way up to the pull area.
Okay.
You know where that is?
No, sir. I installed it yesterday.
Yo, you got a radio?
To get the job done, Mike's team must rig and prep each piece of the top tier at over 12 stories in the air. Thankfully, in this business, for every big job, there's a rig that's even bigger. The massive 55-meter reach Senebogen 870 material handler. It's one of the tallest long-reach rigs in North America. There's only a few people in the country who have experience operating it. And Stan Zajac is one of them. Stan uses the hydraulic arm to transport the pull cables to workers on the top tier. Mike arrives to make sure the rigging's done right.
Pick up Josh. Fine.
What do you need, Eddie?
Hey, where you want to put cables on first?
He's got all the cables hung.
Oh, damn.
We only need 3 pull cables.
The teams attach the cables through the top tier. Finally, Stan gets to use his mega machine for what it does best. Ripping through concrete and metal. Slice by slice, he makes 5 vertical incisions into the top tier. This piece will be the first one to come down. Stan's job is done.
An English agent went missing.
I'm here to discover his fate.
One must have secrets, don't you agree?
We can help each other. Soon, the peace will be broken.
Same day as the U.S. Bark Skins on National Geographic.
So suddenly, I had that concrete right in my face. And one thought was, this could be it. I could die.
911. We have a major injury accident.
Whatever you do, just don't give up.
Here we go.
Classic.
Oh, good stuff. Absolutely stunning.
Electrifying the crowd.
Oh, she read it. And that's it. What a treat this has been.
Grand Slam Classics. Every night, 10 p.m. on Fox Sports 2.
Heathrow, Britain's biggest and busiest airport, is under pressure like never before.
Unbelievable.
Totally messed up.
From disruptions in the skies.
This is a crime scene.
Gonna be drugs in there. To drama in the terminals. There's no break for the staff dealing with over 80 million passengers a year.
Oh, I think it's going to be good fun.
Heathrow, Tuesday nights at 10:25 on Nat Geo People.
Inside this appropriately spacey-looking shipping container is a commercial satellite.
So right now, we're just waiting on the satellite to arrive. The only problem with we have a deadline for when we can leave tonight. Air traffic control shuts down at 11, and we have to be out of here before then. So there is a little bit of a hurry for us to get out.
Finally, at 6 o'clock, the satellite rumbles in. But no sooner do the aircraft crew clap eyes on its monstrous bulk, and it sparks a furious Ukrainian debate.
So that will be on top of that.
We're going to move our truck over there.
This container specifically, there's no other aircraft that can actually receive this container and do a full-on transport. It's definitely neat seeing something that large and realizing that'll get in the air with as much cargo as we're about to load on it.
The 6.5-ton satellite safely swings onto the Antonov's loading ramp. The rest should be a clear home run, in theory.
Every Monday to Friday, starting from 2:20 p.m., we're bringing you the best of Nat Geo.
Got him on! Goes bang.
This is a huge snake. I'm about to go into the Maya underworld.
Entertain your brain while you're at home with Best of Nat Geo. Monday to Friday, starting from 2:20 p.m. on National Geographic.
Now, it's up to the cutting crew.
How far are we away from burning?
Three workers packing oxyacetylene torches burn the hinge cuts into the tiers supporting columns. Like knocking down a tree, the cut will cause the entire tier to topple when pulled. It's a high-stakes job. Cut too little, and the tier won't fall when pulled. Cut too much, and the entire section could collapse prematurely. They insert wedges into each cut to stabilize the tier until it's ready to be pulled. On the ground, the excavators move into place, and the team rigs them up with the other end of the cables. They're ready. Each crew member has a numbered tag, so medic George Hauk can do a final head count.
Just before the cut and pull, we retrieve those numbers to ensure that everybody on this list is accounted for.
Roger, 28 and 31, they're accounted for.
Okay, number 57.
Michael's walking into 157 gate right now.
Yes, I just got confirmation.
It's go time. Spectators gather on the subway platform, and the team holds their breath.
All right, it's showtime. I'm going to go out there and do this.
Mike takes the stage and conducts the crew.
Bo, do you hear me on this radio? Bo?
I got you.
All right, fellas, back her up. Pull out the wedges.
The support wedges come out.
All right, back up. Get them tight. Bo, a little bit more. Straighten out, Steve, straighten out. All right, on 3, let's pull all together. 1, 2, 3, pull.
Week by week, they move around the stadium. Until a month later, the last tier piece is ready to come down. They rig up for the pull. Mike makes the final call. For the house that Ruth built, it's game over.
Okay, fellas, hook up. Let's back up. Pull out the wedge cables. Okay, on the count of 3, we're going to pull. Last one. 1, 2, 3, pull.
Months later, the legendary stadium's gone. In its place, the city will build a public park. And across the street, the new Yankee ballpark has started off its own history with a bang.
To the second baseman, Cano. The Yankees are back on top. World champions for the 27th time.
Like Babe Ruth did in 1923, the Yankees win the World Series the first year in their new stadium. And here, the stadium will stand until one day, it too will be broken down.